Summarizing what Agile is all about can be tricky, but Alistair Cockburn has an elevator pitch that I really love. Agile is all about deliver value to customers faster and minimize bureaucracy. Short and simple, but here's my stab at providing a little bit more elaborate explanation. Agile emerged in the 90s as an alternative to the process and document-heavy plan-driven approach, embodied by, for example, waterfall methodologies. So let's start with exploring how that approach looks like. In a plan-driven environment, work is conducted in projects. Most projects start with an idea of a product or a service that addresses the need of the customers. If executed and delivered well, the hope is that the outcome will be more happy customers, which in turn should generate more profit. To reach these results, a detailed plan is designed upfront, describing all the steps required to get there. The project is staffed with skilled people. We might have a business expert describing in words the requirements of the system, a senior designer that outlines a system that will meet these requirements, a skilled software developer that converts these requirements and design into code, an unbiased critical tester that verifies the quality, and finally someone tasked with shipping it, making the product available to customers and users. So far so good, right? Well, it turns out that this approach kind of only works when everything is known from the beginning. We don't expect any surprises along the journey, and we know exactly where we're going. In complex environments such as in IT and other fast-paced domains with many actors, this is rarely the case. Actually, applying the plan-driven approach in these environments inherently comes with a lot of problems. Calculating the cost for a project is pretty straightforward. It accumulates over time depending on the number of people involved in the project, license fees, hardware and so on. Nothing of value is however delivered to the customer until the very end. If everything goes as planned, the customers will like what we provide and we will earn more money than we have invested. But we don't know this will happen. This upfront planning, big bang delivery strategy and no true feedback until the very end means that we accumulate a lot of risk over time. For example, we might learn at the very end when we invite to customer acceptance testing or launch our product to the market that we've built something that doesn't address the problem or the need. No one wants our product. We might learn too late that we never actually had the right people with the right skills in the project in order to pull it off in an efficient manner. We might learn far into the project that our assumptions on cost and delivery dates are way off. We might discover by the very end, when we try to tie everything together, that it never was technically feasible to build a system from a performance, scalability or security perspective. We can talk about these risks, we can keep track of them, but we won't truly learn about them until the very end of the project. Another, for me, totally weird aspect of the plan-driven approach is that you make tons and tons of decisions early on. You decide exactly what to do, who should do it, in which order, and how long time each task is allowed to take. And you do this in the phase of the project when you have the least amount of knowledge. To make things worse, you put all these decisions into a plan, you negotiate a contract, and you commit to it. What could possibly go wrong? Another common property of waterfall projects is that they tend to stretch over a long period of time. And big projects comes with some inherent problems. For example, the longer a project, the more likely it is that people working on it will be interrupted with other urgent work, thus slowing down progress and causing delays, maybe postponed deadlines. And when the deadline is postponed, people tend to grab the opportunity to add more features, increasing the scope, thus prolonging the project even more. See the vicious cycle going on here? Furthermore, a consequence of having experts doing the work in a serial manner is that it introduces the need of handoffs. When someone has completed their part, they hand over their work and knowledge so far to the next person in line. That person is expected to pick up the baton and continue from there. Having many handoffs is by far the most efficient way to lose knowledge about the problem we're trying to solve and the context. Every time there is a handoff, roughly 50% of the knowledge is lost. There's only so much you can convey in written or verbal form. I really sympathize with the frustrated tester that needs to reverse engineer how the system should work and why in order to test it. And finally, this approach with a lot of process is expensive. Apart from the people doing the actual job, we need a project manager to plan and coordinate, maybe a change request manager to protect the project from changes and scope creep, and probably someone to be in charge of everything to make sure people do what is expected of them. That's one way to summarize the plan-driven predictive approach. So, how does this compare with the adaptive, iterative, agile approach? It starts at the same place with an idea, a vision of a product, feature or service that would solve a problem or address the needs of the customers, resulting in profit. We of course have skilled people, but instead of working separately, handing over the work to the next person, they form a team. The team assumes a collective ownership to deliver success. They win and celebrate as a team, they fail and learn as a team. They sit together, work together. They self-organize, meaning that they decide together how to solve problems and how to best collaborate. They plan, execute, deliver and learn together. They decide upon process together. They are collectively held responsible for delivering high-quality services and product. This sometimes renders some overhead roles abundant. Instead of planning everything up front, they make sure they have a clear shared understanding of where they want to go. Then the team asks themselves, what should we do first? What can we build that brings us one step closer to the vision and delivers some real value to our customers? They accept that they probably misunderstood the problem or the goal, so they approach their work step by step. This way, they maximize learning and are constantly able to adapt to new insights. The team has a tight and frequent collaboration with their customers and stakeholders. As soon as they've solved a partial problem and can deliver some value, they do. The team either invites a demonstration where they show what they have built and ask for feedback, or they actually launch the new features and measure the impact. After each iteration, before taking the next step, they ask themselves 2 questions. Are we building the right thing? Is there something we need to rethink? Should we prioritize? Can we improve the way we build it? Can we improve our collaboration, our communication, our processes and tools? Can we simplify? Instead of having a lessons learned session afterwards, they inspect and adapt along the way. And then the team takes another step and another, continuously adjusting their aim and improving the efficiency of their collaboration until they have accomplished what they've set out to do. That destination quite often turns out to be something else than they thought of when they started the journey. With an iterative step-by-step approach where they continuously inspect and adapt, the team quickly learns if they are building something that satisfies the customers and stakeholders, if they have a good mix of people and skills, and through their habit of frequent delivery, they early on learn about technical challenges. This way, they can always quickly react to risks and surprises. Since the team, that's usually pretty small, around 6-7 people, isn't dismantled after each project, but stay together, they over time become faster, better, stronger and more efficient at collaborating. The nature of their work and their goals, that might change over time though. Calculating the cost is as straightforward as with the other approach, but since the team deliver value frequently and continuously inspects and adapts, they never accumulate a lot of risk. Instead, they leverage their frequent customer feedback and insights to ensure that they're always working on the most valuable thing in the most efficient manner. That was my attempt of providing a brief explanation of what Agile is all about. It's by no means exhaustive, and I allow myself to simplify some aspects. If you see people intensely collaborating in front of whiteboards with ridiculous amount of post-its every morning as a ritual, they're probably practicing Agile. Maybe they're even doing Scrum, the single most popular Agile methodology. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe or leave a comment. My name is Jimmy Janlén. I'm an Agile coach, member of the consultant company Crisp in Stockholm. If you're looking for examples on how you can visualize work and process, perhaps you will enjoy my new book, Visualization Examples.